Hi there, I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister, and I'm here to talk about how Bitcoin is not an elitist type of thing. I think all of you by now, if you're familiar with my videos, know that I think Bitcoin is for everyone and that it shouldn't exclude anyone, and people shouldn't be scared away by anyone who currently is using Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not about being high and mighty and saying to people, oh, you're not a real Bitcoin user. What's a real Bitcoin user? I mean, if a person owns just one little piece of a Bitcoin, I think that's awesome. I think that's great. That helps the community out in the long run. I don't believe in saying this is a top person of Bitcoin. You know, there are experts indeed, but to say someone's a top person, to me, I love to talk about all sorts of common people in Bitcoin, just regular average Joes. If a regular average Joe uses Bitcoin, if there are 1,000 of them, that's much more important than one top Bitcoin official technical genius who can't even understand a word he's saying because he's talking techno mumbo jumbo that's scaring away everyone. And those people are awesome though in their own way, definitely. But we shouldn't worship them. We shouldn't make them elite. We shouldn't doubt others' loyalty to Bitcoin or that they're not real users. We need marketing people. We need a lot more marketing people, non-technical people in Bitcoin. So let's not scare them away. Let's not make it seem elitist. Actually, non-technical speculators who know nothing about the technical side of Bitcoin, they're awesome. They're pouring money into Bitcoin. What the heck? I have no problem with them. We shouldn't be ripping on them. I mean, you can rip on them if you want to, but dude, in the long run, they're helping you. They're helping your investment. We're talking about money here. This is money. And don't be exclusionary, or this is going to fail. Definitely. If you want to feel special about yourself, then Bitcoin isn't for you. I mean, no, I don't want anyone else to use Bitcoin but me. I want it to be this little special thing that makes me feel smart because I understand the technical stuff. Come on, man. That's not cool. This is, again, the more people, the more popular, the better this is going to end up. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister, and I just got out of the shower, and I had to record this right away. Before I got in the shower, I was reading on recode.net about how Twitter is they want to expand their character limit from 140 to 10,000 characters. And Twitter has been losing followers, or they're not gaining followers as quick. They're trying to come up with some type of gimmick. This is just a gimmick. I don't think it's going to solve anything. But guess what? If Twitter were to somehow make a big announcement and say, hey, we're going to incorporate Bitcoin. We're going to incorporate Bitcoin into our business model here. And they could do a number of things. It's just a great gimmick that would attract so much attention, and it would help them. It could cut down on spam. They could have an exclusive part of Bitcoin, an exclusive part of Twitter where you could pay to tweet. And I'm talking about, because Bitcoin can be divided up into such small increments, we're talking about people paying Twitter $1, and then each tweet they tweet, they pay 1/1000th of a dollar or 1/5000th or 1/500th, whatever. And yes, I know Litecoin would work very well too. Maybe they could just take over Litecoin. Who knows? But but the point is, one of these days there's going to be an innovative corporation, maybe it'll be Twitter, that's going to find something awesome for Bitcoin in their business model, and it's just going to take off for Bitcoin. It's going to help the company. It's going to be a great gimmick. It's going to be a great way to market them, and just a great way to expand the audience of this company. So that's all I have to say today. Hi everyone, this is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister, and I'm going to talk about the Panama Papers and how it relates to Bitcoin. Well, the Panama Papers revealed all these secret bank accounts all over the world. We can call them Swiss bank accounts, you can call them whatever. But basically, the Panama Papers show that there is no such thing as banking secrecy in the modern world. That if you think you have a secret bank account, you're going to get busted eventually, and you're going to be villainized made out to be a criminal because you're just trying to protect your money, which isn't really a crime at all. But in this world where the governments want to tax the heck out of everything, you protecting your money is a crime. It's very sad. Now, people actually thought about what just happened, how the traditional banking system, you can't hide your money in a Swiss bank account. You just can't do it anymore. Eventually, someone's going to tell on you, or a government's going to find out about it. If people thought about that, and they're not going to think about it this way, but they should, it should spike the price of Bitcoin. People should be like, okay, if the modern banking system, if I'm not going to be able to hide my money there, I might as well just get into this Bitcoin thing and try it out there. But I doubt people are going to think about it. But you should think about that at least, and understand that no Swiss bank account is safe. It's better to have a Swiss bank account in your pocket than in Switzerland. And what I mean by that, obviously, is the Swiss bank account in your pocket is what Obama kind of said Bitcoin was, but people interpreted it that way at least. So anyway, Panama Papers, yeah, people got busted, but you can think of it this way: hey, I've got Bitcoin. I don't have to worry about the traditional banking system screwing me over and telling on me to the government. So, and you're not doing anything wrong anyway. You're just saving your money. That's all. What's wrong with that? I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister. I'll talk to you later.
Hi everyone, this is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, and we're going to talk about the politics of Bitcoin. At the recent conference I was in, Bitcoin conference in Chicago, and also when I was in South Africa, a lot of people, the topic of charities came up, and actually specifically charities in Africa, and how one could use Bitcoin to contribute to charities in Africa, hopefully one day, or maybe even today. And I do agree that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are great for charities. It's a great way to see if these charities are actually being honest and open, and it's just a way to promote transparency. Now, Africa cannot remain a charity case, though, and let the charities that are there now, let's change them into Bitcoin charities. But let's think of ways to empower the people who are in Africa with Bitcoin, but not through charity. Again, Bitcoin is great for charity, and it is a great test case for Bitcoin. But there are governments in Africa that have just wrecked their economies. They're centrally planned. They inflate the money, they steal, I'm not going to get even into all the specifics. I mean, South Africa has many problems, but Angola jumps into my head as a country that has capital controls. You can't take a certain amount of money out of the country. It's a very wealthy country in terms of resources, but they've had the same leader since 1979 who makes deals with corporations, and people can't immigrate there. It's hard to visit there. The prices are very high there. It's hard to start a business there. I mean, it's clearly a government that's just trying to, keep control of something, of some mineral riches, and make deals to make themselves richer. Now, in a country like that, if somehow a group of people were to make it their cause to bring Bitcoin into that country, and that would completely circumvent the capital controls, and it would help make life better for the people there. It would make it a free country. It would make it much harder for this centrally planned dictatorship, a president since 1979, whatever you want to call him, to have these archaic rules, and so that the wealth would be able to be evenly distributed fairly through capitalism, through true capitalism. So Bitcoin, and this could be done in poorer African countries too, but Bitcoin is the key to economic freedom in countries that have to deal with these insane capital controls and wrecking of their entire monetary system. So I think instead of people treating Africa like a charity case, there should be people, and I'd love to help promote this. They should make it their cause to make a specific country the Bitcoin target, and to find ways to get Bitcoin into this country, to circumvent capital controls and just to help make countries free. And I mean, Angola comes to mind off the top of my head. So do your own research. I'm Adam Meister, BitcoinMeister. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, this is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. I'm doing this video totally unscripted. I'll be looking straight at the camera, not at my notes, because I was just on the great channel of Chase That Coin, and he mentioned radium. By the way, everyone, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to his channel, subscribe to all the great Bitcoin channels out there. But anyway, he brought up the altcoin radium, and it was kind of a joke, and it just got me thinking. There are so many altcoins out there that are scams, pump and dumps, and I just wonder who is even putting money into these on the exchanges, and you know what differentiates some of them from other ones. And I know they all have their little special thing, and it just makes you wonder how many are really pump and dumps. But at the same time, I began thinking about the old days of the internet and how the first time I ever was on the ESPN.com sports chat, and it was just the most amazing thing in the world. And now today you can go on any chat anywhere, forums anywhere, and just talk about sports. But it was the thing that, I mean, this really got me deep into the internet. So I'm thinking to myself, right now, Bitcoin you can't really do much with Bitcoin. You can't do anything with altcoins. You can trade Bitcoin. So some people are going to get into Bitcoin just because they want to trade it and they want these magical altcoins. And I'm thinking to myself, people say this isn't a real user case for Bitcoin, that, you know, this is not something it does. But for some people, trading is something that it does. I mean, think about the young people out there today, and they don't have to even be that young. You can't just trade $5 worth of something for anything out there. Like, you can't do that on the stock market, let's say, E-Trade. These are fun. These trading outposts out there, and I call them trading outposts because, you know, they're unregulated. Obviously, they're in Eastern Europe, but they appear like they could be a lot of fun for a certain type of personality and could really get people into cryptocurrency. So these altcoins, they serve a purpose just to be traded, just for this game. I mean, it's some weird form of gambling almost. And I'm not recommending anyone do this. I'm just looking at the situation, and I think altcoins could actually grow a lot. And I in this one sense, that there are people with personalities out there that they want to trade. And they want to it's gambling to them. So people are going to invest in these things. But in order for them to get into altcoins, they're going to have to hear about Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is still the gateway to the altcoins. And it's only going to help the price of Bitcoin. But I mean, maybe next year, maybe this year, who knows? There could just be a rush of young guys, I think that's the demographic, that just want to flip and trade and do all these things, and just you're in the money, and that's what they're going to see Bitcoin as. And is that wrong if it brings in more people? Is it wrong that they go to these exchanges and play up these altcoins, and maybe one of these altcoins does succeed? So and again, I don't recommend that you trade because it is risky. My God. And I mean, if you're a guy who follows regulations, you probably can't even join up on the ones in America. You probably have to have all certain types of qualifications. And if you're a guy who follows regulations, you're going to be scared to use the ones in Europe. But anyway, this is a unique point we are in the Bitcoin altcoin world. And I don't know. It could explode. It seems like a little game right now. It really does. It seems so fake with these crappy little altcoins in there. They're worth $40,000, but we could really have a rush of people into it one day because so few people know about Bitcoin right now. And thus, even fewer people know about altcoins, and even fewer people know about these exchanges, and that you can riskily make a lot of money, perhaps. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister. I'll talk to you later. Hi everyone, this is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. We're going to talk about charity and Bitcoin. And I believe that when a disaster hits, Bitcoin serves as the ultimate version of charity. You will just be able to send your Bitcoin immediately as soon as you're given an address by the charity. They put it up on the TV screen. Somebody holds up a sign, whatever. There you go. And this is also good for already established charities if they start to use Bitcoin, because they can make things a little bit more efficient with Bitcoin. They might be able to fire some useless employees. Again, some of these charities are bloated bureaucracy. So even if they accept Bitcoin, it's not going to make them more efficient just because of the way they've decided to run themselves. But still, Bitcoin allows you to give charity to the little guy. And you need to encourage your church or the nonprofit that you're involved in to accept Bitcoin. Because the more charities that accept it, the more Bitcoin that'll be flowing all over, the value of Bitcoin will increase. You know the deal. At the same time, people will come up with some more innovative things for charities and Bitcoin. But really, it boils down to some simplistic type of things. As I said, it's especially good for third world based charities because they don't have to worry about currency conversion or anything like that. And it totally opens them up to the first world, to us. And again, Bitcoin accepting charities already exist today. And I think this is good PR for Bitcoin. So it would be great if someone wrote about it in Bitcoin land, and people have. It's better to be known for being great for charities than being good for drug dealers and stuff. That's common sense. Anyway, I can imagine in disaster areas in the future, people will just paint their Bitcoin address on their roofs, for a flood, or just put up a code on their, or on, whatever, hold up a sign, and people see it on TV, instantly send them money. I mean, these are like mini charities. Now, of course, there might be like a verification process that might be necessary for some people, because you see some guy in Burma holding up a sign. Well, how do you know he's really the guy that experienced the disaster? Again, if it's painted on top of his roof, then you pretty much can tell. But the verification process of what is a true third world charity, that's a business opportunity right there. If you want to be that verifier or the guy who videotapes it all. I don't know. I'm just thinking of things off the top of my mind, how you can make money with helping these charities. Anyway, and I can also, in the future, bums on the streets of America, they might just have Bitcoin jackets, with their addresses on the back of the jacket, or paint a sign to easily get money and maybe get them out of poverty, hopefully. Also, in the third world now, $2 a day, some people only make $2 a day. So we have to hope that the way it really will work well for charities in the third world, if people in these third world countries start accepting Bitcoin for other things too, because you can't just send a bunch of people Bitcoin in a third world country and then they can't use it for anything. They're going to need other people to value it also. So that's a step that we have to get to. So we're not fully there for the third world yet. But once, like in some poor African country, once they start accepting Bitcoin and then there's a disaster there and people hold up their Bitcoin addresses on TV or on YouTube or whatever, people start sending them tons of money. Well, not like $10, and they'll be doing better than they were before the disaster. Anyway, those are my thoughts on charity and Bitcoin. As you can see, there's opportunity. There's a lot of different ways it can go, and it's exciting. And the bottom line is, let's talk about charity and Bitcoin so more people can start using it, and it will help us all. So I'll talk to you later.
Hey, it's the BitcoinMeister, Adam Meister, and I am in Cape Town, South Africa. I don't know what you can see or if you can even hear me or whatever, but I was at the Bitcoin conference today. the African Bitcoin conference here in Cape Town. It was great. Great people were there. Just great ideas. Bitcoin is so exciting. I'm wearing my Wash U t-shirt. I went to college in St. Louis. Shout out to St. Louis, to Baltimore, city of Baltimore, county of St. Louis. I'm here in Cape Town. Again, Bitcoin, people were so excited about it. When you work for yourself like I do, you can go to places like Cape Town and go to Bitcoin conferences. And I know this is not my usual rhetoric or whatever, but I'm in a rush and this camera is horrible and the battery is about to die. But Bitcoin gives you this type of freedom. I'm so far from the United States of America now, and it is a beautiful city, Cape Town. I wish you could see the mountain and everything. So take care, everyone. I'm just going to quickly upload this.
But I'm from the United States. I have a big Bitcoin cryptocurrency show on YouTube, one of the biggest ones out there. You should Google BitcoinMeister. Again, I'm Adam Meister, but I'm the BitcoinMeister and the DisruptMeister. You can go to disruptmeister.com and see all my shows. I do a news show every single day. And I think it's a good resource to learn some of the basics of what's going on. You get all the news of the day. You learn the players because it's good to get familiar with what is going on in the Bitcoin world. Because it's not just a cryptocurrency per se. It's we're in an ecosystem here. Businesses are being built around Bitcoin. Other coins are created from Bitcoin. So what I'm wondering here, what I've gathered in Australia is that, first of all of you are very hospitable people and have been so kind to me here in Perth. And I want to thank some people who had a BitcoinMeister dinner here last night, and I really thank you so much. It's really been awesome. Perth is just rocking it. I go around the world and I just talk about Bitcoin. That's what I do now, and my YouTube channel. So what I was wondering, just from a show of hands, who out there has heard about this segregated witness and the scaling issue? All right. So a lot of people have heard of it. Who's worried about it? So the cool thing is that in North America and Europe, everybody would raise their hands who knows about it and say they're worried about it. Because it's just, I guess, our nature to catch fear and be scared. And right now, you guys check the price and stuff. You see it's been fluctuating and stuff. So it's based upon these people's rumors and fears that Bitcoin might split in two, or the latest news that's confusing involving the latest technicality involving scaling. And hey, I'm no tech expert here, but what I'm saying is if you're a person who's holding Bitcoin, and I believe that's all you really need to be right now, because there's a lot of people out there who want to take your Bitcoin and say they're going to turn it into a lot of different things for you. The best thing you can do is just buy and hold Bitcoin. But if you're a person who treats it as a store of value, like so many people do, what I advise is just to remain calm still, and to understand that there are forces out there, should we say miners in China perhaps, who are using threats as leverage to try to get their way. But on the other side, the users are talking about something called a user-activated soft fork, which would put Bitcoin in a different direction, away from the miners, away from that centralization. So in the end of the day, the miners care about one thing. They care about money. And segregated witness solves the scaling issue. They've agreed to do that. Will it really happen? We shall see. If they don't do it, the worst thing that can happen is we continue with the status quo. But what we want to avoid is two different Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, the miners aren't going to mine an unprofitable Bitcoin. They're going to go with the Bitcoin that the market supports. So in August 1st, that's an important date. August 4th, all these dates in August. Don't read into every single thing. Don't worry about every single thing. Don't worry about every single bit 148. Just know that for a few days,